Fishing on TNT Sports is brought to you by Outlaw Pro Fishing Tackle.
This was interesting listening to Ross and you discussing this as we came out, is what you decide to go for first. So it's not just kind of an open buffet and you can go for anything you want at any time. Tide plays a huge role in all of this, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I personally would, hit the bigger fish first. But I can see why people come down to this spot, because obviously, you get the good variety down here. And they can still get all 5 species in this area. The
gamble, I suppose, is do you go for the fish that are difficult to catch first, i.e. the tope and the flatfish, and really kind of spend some time on a mark that you're the first boat there essentially, or do you go for the easy ones first and then spend a good amount of time throughout the rest of the day trying to get the more difficult species? That's where your money's in this comp, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just looking over at Sea Witch 2 there, Zach. Obviously, proud Welshman. We can see the dragon on the back of the boat. Landing net going in.
Yeah, looks like they got a smooth hound on.
A lot of activity on the way. It's a little boat, that fella, isn't it, the Sea Witch?
Yeah. Yeah, small boat. Looks like they've got their trace line just caught in their net at the moment.
So on board Sea Witch we've got Rob Shefford, Gareth Prothero and Craig Ayres. This is the carnage of boat fishing. Sometimes, all the multiple rods out the back can sometimes get a little bit messy. And
yeah, they've just abandoned that net because they've got it tangled up, now going for
a good fish.
Second net.
Oh, good skill. That's a good fish, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting to see that the smooth hounds. There'd been a few coming out on this tide already, whereas normally you wouldn't expect to see so many until the next tide on this mark.
It's a little bit tricky they've got another fish as well. So they've got a double hookup. Is that another smoothie? So they've had to land both of those fish. Isn't that just typical? Do you know, the other thing I love about this comp, Zach, is the variety of boats out here, because we've got all shapes and sizes. There we've got Hot Pursuit, which is Adam Kirby, Dan Sissons, and go through the process of, they're measuring a smoothhound. It looks like Adam caught that one, but that's a completely different style of craft, centre console.
You do see boats out that size out here. The layout of it is more of something you'd see abroad with the nicer weather.
Yeah.
Typically over here, people tend to like cabins.
For good reason.
Our typical British summer when the rain comes.
Well, Ross, I know that there's a little bit of Scottish blood coursing around in you somewhere, and we are looking at boat number 28, which is a Scottish crew.
Yeah.
We've seen the Welsh already. It's good stuff, isn't it? The fact you get people from all over.
Yeah, it's good. Absolutely, it's great, and they're into a fish as well at the moment, which is even better.
That's Stuart Cresswell, who there are a few better sea anglers in the UK than he. He's a very successful competition angler.
It's great. I think we've got 5 boats from Scotland this year.
Well, Zach, scoreboard is starting to update, which is interesting. We're kind of 2.5 hours into the competition. We're looking at boat number 15, which has Matt Wilcock and Dave Wilson on board. They have had an interesting catch of smoothies and bream. So they've had smoothies 90, 98 and 101, which is a hell of a fish.
Yeah, that's a fantastic fish.
And they've also had 3 bream. They're in second place at the moment. And I know it's one of these interesting situations in a match like this. You're not going to win the match on the first day, but I'll tell you what, you can lose it. And just being in touch with that top 5, how important is that?
Yeah, you got to keep your numbers up there, and if you don't do well on the first day, you're going to then be playing catch up on the second day, and you start to lose it a bit. So you need sort of two consistent days of fishing to be up in the top 10, I think.
We've already alluded today about Bad Boys, local boat, Portsmouth guys with Martin Fisher, Luke Fitzgerald, Nick Wallace, and Martin Fitz on there as well. They are in the lead. Now, this will mean an awful lot to them today, but it will count for nothing if they don't follow it up and hold on, because last year I fancy they thought they'd won it. And, you know, it was only that amazing performance from Jason Williams and Liam Smith, certainly on the second day, which saw them take the title. If you look at their scorecard in first place, well, we're looking at boat number 15 as they, again, you know, waiting for this tide to start to ebb. We're looking at some seriously big fish again. 110 centimetre smoothie, a metre smoothie, you know, 94, 101. It's a lot of fish. 113 is the biggest fish, and they've also had a couple of bream. But crucially, one of the things you were talking about, looks like they've had a ray.
That's two. They've got 2 rays pending at the moment.
Well, Zach, we've steamed up here through some, let's be honest, pretty uncomfortable stuff. The old tide's doing a few interesting things at the moment. There in front of us is Blackbridge, who are pushing up the leaderboard in third. They have had a metre taupe. That's a proper fish.
Yeah, and I think it's just as this sort of ebb tide's getting away. You know, like we were saying earlier on, they do like a bit of tide. So now this ebb tide's away, hopefully we'll see a few more.
You know, it's the first time in the Sea Angling Classic we've had an all-female crew. The girls behind us on Crewsaver 1 have had a decent start to the day. They've had 3 smooth hounds. They're absolutely in love with sea fishing, and here is why.
My journey started for the Sea Angling Classic last year, and I'd only ever fished 3 times before that. So I went into it very, very new and inexperienced, the same as what the girls are this year. So we're going to work well as a team with the little tiny experience that we've all got between us. We are a very, very novice crew, but I think it'll be fun.
Taking part is what counts, but I do think that we will do okay. We've got a really great team with Gemma and Emma and my boss Hannah.
I'm all for women participation in sports that are still heavily male dominated, and I know fishing is one of those. So really pleased to be part of the all women's team, and hopefully that'll encourage more women to participate, including myself.
I have learnt a whole load of new things, not only that I really like driving this boat because it's awesome, but that taupe is part of the shark family. Did not know that. And I also learnt that I think we're going to be absolutely awesome. Everyone's got their own little jobs, everyone is really organised, as you would imagine, from putting 4 women together, and it's going to be so much fun. Again, not really sure what I can contribute, but I know that I can put the boat in the right place.
Okay, we knew there was some weather coming in on the first day of the Sea Angling Classic. The situation is this. We're now approaching 1 p.m. The event was due to finish at 4, but because of the wind and the amount of chop that's happening out here now and the number of small boats taking part, the difficult decision has been made to call the event at 2 p.m. instead. What that means is the boats will start to head back to headquarters at 2 o'clock, having had a morning's fishing. It won't materially change the scores. Of course, they've already caught lots of fish today, but it does mean the event is cut slightly short on the first day. Okay, I'm sure all of the anglers are a little bit disappointed that things have been cut a bit short on the first day, but safety does come first. Heading back into Port Solent, and one of the things that's greeting them on the way back in is scientists from the University of Portsmouth who are involved in a very, very interesting study. So Georgie, just explain to us, we've seen you down gathering data, gathering the SD cards and stuff. What are you guys doing this weekend?
So this weekend we are essentially gathering data from the fishermen who are going out catching these fish. Historically, all of this information would have just gone into a database and kind of disappeared. What we've realised is that length data, the location data as well, is really important to collect and gather together to form a picture of what's going on out there.
See, this is fascinating stuff because, I mean, anecdotally, anglers have been doing this for years. We know when stuff's there and when it isn't. To have you involved and actually doing it in inverted commas properly, I mean that you're doing it properly, not that we weren't, it's got to be a massive bonus for the scientific community and the welfare of what's going on out there.
Absolutely. Well, that's the key, really, is the welfare of the fish. You know, we're not here to stop anything happening. We actually want it to continue because we really realise the value of recreational fishing to, you know, the UK economy. We want to support the whole industry and just make it better and sustainable. So it's wonderful that the data is there, but it's in terms of pulling it all together and making it manageable and usable. We know a lot of data is in people's heads, and we just want to be able to get it into a way that can be studied and used for those management plans.
Talking of management plans, there'll be a few of those being made this evening as the anglers try to figure out what to do on the second day. There's the prospect of some more weather coming in for the afternoon on day 2 as well. In the meantime, here are the scores from the first day of the 2024 Sea Angling Classic. Blackbridge are in front. They've had the biggest fish on day 1, with Marcus Coombs landing an incredible 161 centimetre tope. That would weigh close to 50 pounds, and it's put them firmly at the top of the leaderboard. Others in the chasing pack include Bluefin, Bad Boys, Boot Out Breast Cancer, Tequila and the defending champions on Trickery 1.
Fishing on TNT Sports is brought to you by Outlaw Pro Fishing Tackle.